you guys, it's Zahava. Welcome back to the channel. So we are on our way now to a book sale in Ottawa, which is, if you're new here, about a 2-hour drive from Montreal where I live, and we are going to see if there is anything that we can pick up. It's being held in an elementary school. Yesterday I actually went to a used book sale in a church not too far from my house. I got about 12 seconds of footage there. Nothing really exciting to report. I picked up 15 books for $20, which I'm going to be reselling through one of my Etsy stores as blind book dates, because I wanted to leave a little bit of money behind at the church since it was a church fundraiser. So yeah, that's pretty much the sad field trip that I went on yesterday. This one is hoping to be a little bit better, and yeah, we're just gonna see how we go. Okay guys, so we have not made it to the book fair yet, but I did stop at a couple of different thrift stores, which I didn't take footage of, but I wanted to show you the books that I picked up. So the first thrift store that I went to, I found a copy of Miles, Mystery and Mayhem from Lois McMaster Bujold, who I have not read yet, but who has been influenced upon me by Angela of the Literature Science Alliance, so thank you for that. I did pick up the first book in this 𝚱𝚘𝚘𝚔𝚑 series, and I think I picked that one up on eBay, which you guys may or may not have seen in my physical TBR video, but since I found this one at a thrift store, and it seems to be an omnibus of different books in the 𝚱𝚘𝚘𝚔𝚑 saga, so it leads me to believe that you may not have to read them all in order, because the 3 books that make up this omnibus, which were put together by the publisher, are in different chronological and publication order, which if I can find it, I'll put it up on the screen for you guys. So yeah, this one cost me $1.99, so I'm very happy about that because this sounds like an absolutely fantastic series. The next thrift store that I went to, I found 3 books, and I ended up saving $2. So the first thing that I picked up, I don't know if you guys remember my telling you that if I ever found a copy of Everyone on This Train is a Suspect, I would read more Benjamin Stevenson, but I did not want to pay full price for it. So I did find this one at the thrift store, and this one cost $2.99, so I was very satisfied with that because, again, I enjoyed Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone, and I'm just reading the title to make sure I don't get it wrong. I did enjoy that, which I also picked up from a thrift store, but I was not ready to spend full dollars on that. So I do have this, and it'll be on the TBR, but certainly not a priority read. The next thing I found was a sort of pulp horror. It's called Night Film, and this is by Mariah Pessl, and it is a heavy book, like a physically very, very heavy book. It's got beautiful pages. This one here was actually didn't have a price on it. That's not true. When I picked it up, I felt something kind of like slip past my hand, and I thought that maybe originally it was like an insect that had crawled on me or something, but it turns out it was the price tag. It was on the side, and it had fallen down, and it was $4.99. So I kind of went to the cash, and I was like, yeah, could you tell me what the price is on this book? There's no price. And the girl only charged me $3.99. So I'm really happy about that because that was $1 saved through like serendipitous events. And then lastly, at this same thrift store, I found a copy, and I could not believe my luck, of The Shadow of What Was Lost. Now, I have never read James Islington, but if you have been on BookTube a minute, you have seen this floating around. If you are a fantasy reader or follow any fantasy YouTube creators, you will have seen this one. I think that Books with Emily Fox, if I'm not mistaken, has been in the middle of this book for months now. I don't know if it's this one or maybe it's the second installment in the trilogy, but I know that this is a chunker, okay? It is over 650 pages from what I was just able to peek at now, but the condition, you guys, the condition is deplorable. It's in a terrible state. The cover is like folded, the pages are folded. You can see it's just I mean, the camera doesn't do it justice, but it's not in great shape. So they had a $4.99 price tag on this, and I got them to sell it to me for $3.99 because I took a look at it, and the girl tried to tell me, oh, a lot of people had picked up this book, and I'm like, anyone who picked up this book would have taken it home. So like, I don't think it was due to handling that it ended up in this condition, but the fact that it was even at the thrift store, I gotta be honest with you, I'm really shocked about. So those are the 4 books that I picked up at a thrift store, and right now I'm sitting outside an Indigo, so we're gonna go in, see what they have on the bargain shelves, because I still have a little bit of a gift card left to spend there, so I'm gonna go check that out, and then we will head to the book sale that we drove 2 hours to get to, so stay tuned. Okay, you guys, back in the car. In the end, that bookstore was a total bust. I don't know if it's because of the way that they have their merchandise displayed, but it's almost like they don't have enough shelves for the amount of inventory. So because I couldn't really see the book covers and all I could see was a lot of the book spines, as you guys saw in the clearance section, I don't know, I guess I wasn't feeling it because I wasn't able to get that eye candy. I would have to be attracted by the title or by the author, most of whom I was unfamiliar with. And I don't know, it just didn't entice me to want to pick up the book from the shelf. So if you guys are bookstore owners, you know, showing the cover page is really important. Showing the book, I guess the cover page, what would you call it? Cover. Showing the book cover is important. Seriously. Yeah, showing the book cover is really important because it helps you to be, to identify with whether or not you think you might like the novel. So, yeah, that was a bust for me, which I'm really surprised about because I wasn't expecting that. They did have a lot more choice, but because of the choice, there was less somehow. So anyway, we are headed to the book sale and I will see you once we get there. Okay guys, so I am back in the car after the book sale at the school and I didn't get any footage there because it was just packed with people, packed with children, and frankly I was a little embarrassed and didn't want to be taking footage when there were so many parents there with their children, and I don't know, I'm sure you can understand. But I did end up spending $17 getting maybe about 5 or 6 books there. One book that I picked up was $5, another one was $3, and I think the rest of them were $2 each. So I didn't go completely crazy, but I did find some very interesting authors there. One being Sarah Waters and another being Nnedi Okorafor, which I was really, really happy to have found. So we're gonna be spending the rest of the afternoon doing a little more thrifting, and then before we close out the end of this video, you can bet that you're gonna be seeing a book haul segment. So stay tuned for that. We have a new camera angle. I'm trying it out. There is a picture of baby Fiona in the background. Okay, so we are home, as you may have surmised. It's Sunday. I had a very crappy night of sleep. I slept in today. I took a shower. And yeah, I just made myself a coffee and I'm going to sit and show you the book haul from this weekend so that we can wrap up this video. So in order, we did pick up Miles Mystery and Mayhem, which you guys saw already, so I'm not going to spend much time on this, but I'll go over them again just in case you forgot from earlier in the video. So this is by 𝚱𝚘𝚘𝚔𝚑, and it is an omnibus of 3 out-of-order tales from 𝚱𝚘𝚘𝚔𝚑, so that should be a really good introduction. I do have I think, is it Shards of Honor? I'm not really sure which one it is, but I have one already that I bought from eBay, which I mentioned before. So yeah, this is going to be probably my second. I'll probably read the first one first since I bought it, and then this one second. And then I'll see if I want to continue in the series. But I'm happy that the publisher made an omnibus of 3 stories that are both out of publication order and out of chronological order, because this way, I'm certain I don't have to read the stories in order, so if I ever come across these books, I can just pick them up randomly, and I'm so happy about that. I should also mention, while I have this in my hand, because I'm thinking about it now, I did try and thrift some Terry Pratchett, because I know that The Light Fantastic is the only book in the Discworld universe that does have to be read in order, like after The Color of Magic, because it is a proper sequel to that book, but everything else apparently you can read as self-contained novels according to my research. So if you guys have read Terry Pratchett and you have some advice for me, because I've never read Terry Pratchett and I would really like to get to that one day. So yeah, if you could just let me know what advice you have for me. I don't know if I was really expecting to find Terry Pratchett at the book fair. Maybe I was being a little optimistic, but I didn't happen to find any. All right, I just wanted to tie my hair up because it was getting like really hot in here. So this is making me feel a lot better. Okay, so let us proceed with the rest of my book haul. So I did get books from 1, 2, 3, 4 places. So we talked about the 𝚱𝚘𝚘𝚔𝚑. We talked about this one before, so it's just like a reminder, everyone on this train is a suspect. I have this very heavy book called Night Film from Marisha Pessl. I think I said Mariah before, but I think that that was me just reading her name really quickly and not paying attention to it, so I'm really sorry about that, but I do want to weigh it. So this book is coming in at 2 pounds, 1 ounce, or 958 grams for those of us who are in metric. So it is a very, very heavy book. Not a book I would suggest traveling with, probably a book better read at home where you can sort of control how you're going to prop it up. And then, of course, we have this slightly beat up copy of The Shadow of What Was Lost. Now for the books you haven't seen. So at the school sale that we went to in the basement of that elementary school, I actually picked up 6 books at that sale, one of which I happen to have already on my physical TBR that I completely didn't know that I had. Does that ever happen to you? Because that happened to me. So the first book that I picked up is Gardens of the Moon by Steven Erikson. And this is the one that I actually have in double. I had picked up from Book Outlet a special edition in trade paperback format of this novel, and this one here is a mass market paperback, so I'm gonna have to probably redonate this one to the thrift store because I don't need 2 copies of it, and of course, I paid for a larger format of this book, so it's going to be easier to read. So this is something that for $2, you know what, the profit goes to the school, and I'm very happy to have donated. In fact, I only racked up a $17 tab at the school book fair, and I ended up leaving them a $20 anyway because the profits were going directly to the school, and I was like, that's fine, no problem for me. So this one is going to be on its way out because unfortunately, I just don't need 2 copies. The only other mass market paperback that I picked up is this one here by Tanya Huff, The Silvered. Now, this is a first in a trilogy, if I'm not mistaken. It is a high fantasy. I've never heard of the author. I've never heard of this book. I'm going into it completely blind. So if you guys know anything about it, please let me know. I'm not going to lie, I picked it up because of the cover. I just love the cover. And yeah, I mean, I used to read so much of these high fantasy novels written by women. I did pick up some more in hardcover, which I will show you in just a little bit, but I don't know anything about this one, and I'm perfectly happy to try it and see where it takes me. Also at the elementary school book sale, I picked up a copy of The Paying Guests by Sarah Waters. Now, Sarah Waters writes a lot of sapphic romance stories, but they're also stories with a twist. So if you guys are unfamiliar with her work, maybe you have heard of Tipping the Velvet or Fingersmith, which is a book that I'm actually listening to on audio right now. And Fingersmith, I think I mentioned in a previous video, I think with my March reading wrap up, is a reread for me, but there's also a really, really super good BBC miniseries production of that one, as well as Tipping the Velvet. So if you guys are into sapphic romance, pick up anything by Sarah Waters. You're gonna love it. I haven't read The Paying Guest. She tends to write Victorian Edwardian literature. This one, I think the setting is in 1922. So not contemporary, but I think she might have some other books like this one, Little Strangers, I haven't read, so I don't know what decade that takes place in, but I am familiar with Sarah Waters' writing. I've read 2 or 3 of her books before, haven't read this one, so I picked it up because it was just $3 and it's a hardcover, so I figured, yeah, I'm probably gonna like it. I'm probably gonna like it if I'm honest. So there's this one. Then I picked up, they happen to have an advanced reader's copy of Medusa, which is a really cool cover. I love it. On Goodreads, it has a couple of different covers, but this, as I said, is an ARC, so it could be that there's a couple of typos, or maybe the final version had some changes in it. I don't know, but this one only costs $2. So yeah, I'm gonna read this one. It's got some good reviews. It's a relatively recent publication. I think that it was published last year in 2024. So happy to find this one. It is, of course, a retelling of Medusa, and it's not by Madeline Miller, so maybe it's going to be good. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So on my radar, there is an author called TJ Newman who writes a series of suspense thrillers that all take place on airplanes. And I had heard of Falling, and I think there's a couple of other ones whose names I can't remember right now, but if I have enough space, maybe I'll put them here on the screen so you can see them. Now, this had mid reviews, but some people like it, some people don't. So I think there's kind of mixed reviews about it, so I want to go into it more or less blind, but I heard that this was a really good read. It certainly piqued my interest enough to want to purchase it, having seen it on the table at that book sale. A couple of times I did have it in my cart when I was looking through a book outlet sale, but I never ended up purchasing it. So I did purchase it now because it was only $3. And were I to have gotten it at book outlet, for example, that at its cheapest would have cost me like $7.99. So I feel like I came out ahead with this one. I'll try TJ Newman and I will see if their writing is suited to me. And then lastly, at the book sale, which I was really like stoked to find, was Noor by Nnedi Okorafor. And now I have never read Nnedi Okorafor before, but I know that, again, Angela of the Literature Science Alliance, who is somebody that I follow and have followed for years on BookTube, she does read a lot of Okorafor, and I just was turned on to this author's name through Angela, and I'm excited to read it. It's also not a big book, so it's a good introduction into Okorafor's writing. This one is coming in at 214 pages, and I think that now I'm reading I'm actually in the middle of Honey right now, which is going pretty well because it's just regular fiction, contemporary fiction. And that is being read as a palate cleanser to The Tiger and the Wolf, which I just finished, that super big chunker by Adrian Tchaikovsky. So I'm going to probably want to switch up my genre after I finish reading Honey. And it's very possible that I will float more towards a sci-fi because I do like to switch up my genres in between when I start a book and finish a book. So I'll see how I go, but I like the fact that this is now on my physical TBR and I can get to it whenever I want. April has been a really slow reading month. I have hardly finished any books, and I'm not even sure what I'm going to talk to you guys about when I have to do my April wrap up because I'm in the middle of so many books right now. I'm just wondering if I'm going to even have one that I finished that I can talk to you about because it's just one of those months where things are super hectic and I've got a lot of books going and not a lot of them are completed. So wish me luck for that. But yeah, I'll probably try and go for like a couple of smaller reads, like in the 250 pages and under zone, just so I can feel a little more accomplished with my reading goals. But this is definitely a contender because it is on the smaller side. So if you guys have read it, let me know if it's any good. Now, when I went to that other thrift store where they were having the book sale, buy one, get one free, that one was not as successful as I would have wanted it to be. That store had so many bookshelves. I went through every bookshelf. And boy, if you guys are running a thrift store, can you do the world a solid and please organize your books? Because I went to so many thrift stores, none of which had their books organized. Like seriously, does it take so much effort, people, just to organize your books so that people can see what they're looking at? I went into that St. Vincent de Paul. It is on Merivale Road. So if you guys are from Ottawa and you know it, like you know exactly what I'm talking about. That place is so freaking disorganized with their books. It's unbelievable that anybody can buy any. And with at least 10 shelves, at least 10 that were full of fiction, I was only able to find 2 books. Like, how disappointing is that? They had absolutely nothing of interest for me, but I was hell-bent on at least finding a second book because, as you guys saw, I picked up The Grace of Kings by Ken Liu, and this one would have cost me just $3 because they had that price tag, which was, I think softcover was $3, hardcover was $5, and this is supposed to be a charity shop, right? But anyway, I picked this one up because it is the first of a series, and it had been on my TBR, though not my physical TBR, but my intentional, like I have very good intentions of reading you and picking you up one day TBR, so that's where this one fell. Because you guys know that I have a Ken Liu short story collection, which I showed you when I did a tour of my physical TBR, but I forgot to tell you on that video, although you may have seen it on a previous book haul video, that the short story anthology, I think it's called The Hidden Girl and Other Tales or something, that one is actually signed by the author. Like, the copy that I have is signed by the author. This one isn't, but that's fine. I haven't read him yet. I haven't read him yet, but it was a title that was familiar to me, that was on my radar. So anyway, I picked it up, but I had so much trouble finding another book that was like in this. Even if I would have had a hardcover book, the cashier told me she would have charged me for the cheaper one because that's what she was doing all day and she hadn't gotten a wrist slap for it. So she was like, well, had you taken a hardcover one, I would have charged you the cheaper one. But I didn't want to pay more than $3 anyway because I had been book shopping all day. But it was all that I could do to find another title there. Like, you wouldn't believe how much garbage they had, like absolute garbage for choices. You ever go into a thrift store and it's like you want to buy something, but the choices are just like, nah, I can't part with my money. Like, even for that, I cannot make myself spend money on, you know, just like when nothing jumps out at you and nothing is there. Like, how hard is it from over like 1,000 books and I couldn't find a second one, but I did, and it was on the very last shelf. And let me tell you, if I didn't force myself to pick it up, because it is The Bat by Joe Nesbo. And I know that before I had said I wasn't sure how to pronounce his name, but I'm gonna go with Joe, because I think his name is John or Jonathan. And since my son's name is Jonathan, I always, you know, people refer to him as Joe. We're going to go with Joe. And as it turns out, this is the 3rd Joe Nesbo book that I happen to have in my physical TBR. And I still haven't read this author yet. So it's just because I recognized this author and I knew that I had books. Like, I have another couple of his books whose titles are just not coming to mind right now. But listen, you guys, I was at a loss. I was just trying to find something in that store that there was a hope that I could read, because I was going to buy the Ken Liu book anyway, and whatever other book I chose would have been for free. So I'm going to try this one out. Let me know if you've read it. But yeah, otherwise that store was a complete, like, bust. Okay, so in the last thrift store that I went to, which was the Salvation Army thrift store, that one also did not have any organized shelves. I'm going to tell you something, though. I was super disappointed. I don't think I got it on film, but they had 4 Robin Hobb books that were completely out of reading order, and I just wanted to rescue them, just to rescue them, because it hurts me in my heart, in my whole being. I cramp up whenever I see a Robin Hobb book at a thrift store, which I think for some of you might be like when I said I was looking for Terry Pratchett at a thrift store, and you guys were probably cringing in your seats and you're like, Zahava, no one would ever send Terry Pratchett to a thrift store. And I get you, because when I see Robin Hobb books sitting at a thrift store, I cry. I die a little inside. Like, who is giving up Robin Hobb books? What's wrong with you? Why are you doing that? So I don't know. But yeah, I saw 4 of them, and it was all that I could do at $4 a piece, because they were $4 each because they were hardcover. I was like, I really want to rescue you, but I cannot financially permit myself to do that. So I left those there. But I did pick up 4 others. So the first one that I picked up is The House of the Scorpion. This one is a sci-fi, but I think it's YA. It's got some YA or NA leanings. So I don't really know much more about it other than that, but it's just been like received really well. And maybe because it's a little sci-fi, I probably could get around the fact that it's intended for a younger audience. You know that I struggle with YA and NA novels. I'm trying to see if some of them can still work for me. There was a time when I was very happy reading Inkheart, you know, and I was an adult at that time, albeit it was like 15, 20 years ago. So I don't know if these kinds of things still resonate with me at my age, but I'm going to give this one a try because it, you know, the cover is amazing. Ursula K. Le Guin wrote a little blurb on the back. So yeah, it's science fiction. I'm gonna go for it. It might work for me. I have high hopes. And then lastly, I picked up some Jennifer Fallon books. This is the Wolfblade trilogy. So Jennifer Fallon is a Sarah Douglas-esque Australian writer of high fantasy. I want to say for women. Probably it's for women. If it's anything like the Sarah Douglas books that I picked up and used to read voraciously in my 20s. So I don't know. These books were like just in excellent, like brand new condition. Although one of them, I will say, this is a library book that somebody had, I guess, maybe it came from like a library sale or something, but which is fine. But like this book is in excellent condition, and at $4 each, I just bought the whole set. But you know, they weren't organized, and that's what I get really upset about when it comes to thrift stores, because I actually found those books on 2 different shelves. Like book 1 was on this one shelf, and then books 2 and 3 were on another shelf in a whole like case next to it, a whole bookcase over. So I mean, if you guys want to sell your books, the minimum you could do is like put them all together, because that makes it so much more attractive. I don't know, but if I had a used bookstore, I would be organizing things. That's all I'm saying. But then again, I don't actually know what it is to run a used bookstore. So maybe I'm just talking because I'm frustrated right now. But anyway, it's just a little caprice that I have. The books otherwise are in super good condition. They don't have bumps or scrapes. They are, you know, hardcover. They cost $4 each. So I'm really happy about that. And they look like they could be a lot of fun. That being said, this is actually a prequel series. So you know how like Robin Hobb in the Realm of the Elderlings has the Farseer trilogy, and then she has the Live Ship Traders series, and those would be like books 1, 2, 3, and then Live Ship, even though it's 1, 2, 3 of the Live Ship Traders, they're actually books 4, 5, and 6 in the Realm of the Elderlings. So it's kind of the same story that's going on here. This Wolfblade trilogy are actually books 4, 5, and 6, which act as a prequel to the original 3 that were written, but these books take place 30 years prior to Fallon's original series, if that makes sense. So you could definitely read them in chronological order as opposed to publication order. That's my point. So I did a lot of research about that, and I'm fairly sure that whatever information they give you in these books would not ruin the other ones, which were published, I think, like a decade before. So anyway, I'm going to read these books. I'm going to try and get to them. And you know what? If I don't like them, then I'm just going to unhaul them. I'll put them on Poshmark. I'll put them on eBay. I will figure out a way to get my money back or some such. And that's going to be totally fine because they were $4 each. So it's okay. I don't feel bad about it. I'm not going to beat myself up about it. I don't know. It's so rare that I get a chance to just go out and spend the day with Eric by ourselves, no kids in tow, and just go and have a road trip and buy the books and do the things. So with that in mind, I'm going to close off the video here. I already have half this video edited, so I'm just going to put in this segment here of the haul and edit that and upload it and get that all ready for you, because the next video that I'm hoping to film after this, oh yeah, Fina, who you see here on the background from Fina Reads, actually tagged me in a book tick tag video. What's it called? Reading ticks tag video. So that is a video that I'm going to have to conceive of and film for you guys and get posted up there. And then maybe after that one, I will try and do my April reading wrap up. For those of you who are doing the buddy read of This Body's Not Big Enough for the Both of Us, I'm going to tell you guys, I started that book. I'm annotating that book, but I'm pretty sure I'm not going to finish it in April. It's going to be a nice slow read for me. We're starting it in April. But I don't think, given the way that the book is written, and if you know, you know, I don't think I'm going to be able to get through more than a couple of chapters of that book per week. And that's if I don't let other priorities get into the way. So it's not like a DNF, because I think I'm at chapter 3 or 4, but I'm definitely going to be reading that one a little bit more slowly. And that is due largely to the prose. And I think that if you read it or have read it, you will understand why it's a little more challenging. So you could, you know, we could discuss that in the comments below if you guys are reading also This Body's Not Big Enough for the Both of Us. Because it's something. So I am determined to make my way through it. I just don't know how long that could, honestly, it could take me months. It could take me months. So if you are looking for permission to DNF it or to take as long as you need to take with it, this is it. I'm giving you the permission. You don't need to follow along with it just because I decided to do this. So if you need permission to not do it, just don't do it. It's not for everyone. Honestly, it's not for everyone. So that's the story with This Body's Not Big Enough for the Both of Us. Gorgeous cover, but I don't know that the story is necessarily for everyone. So that being said, I'm going to close off the video here. Thank you so much if you've come to hang out with me for this vlog and mini book haul and all of the other random brain diarrhea that I put out onto this channel all the time. If you are here, you are amazing. Yeah, and I just love you so much, and thank you so much. And I will see you again in the next video if you guys are crazy enough to show up. So thank you again. I love you so much, and I'll see you again soon. Ciao for now.